I never imagined that one small message could undo everything I believed about love and certainty. It appeared on my phone early one morning, glowing faintly against the sunlight pouring through my apartment window. It was from my fiancée, a reply in a group chat meant for her bridesmaids. The words were simple: "I'll say yes for now." That "for now" was all it took for everything to shift. It wasn't just a hesitation in her words. It was the fact that she had shared her doubts with her friends before she ever shared them with me. There was a quiet finality hidden in that casual remark, a truth that felt heavier than any confrontation could. We had met in college, drawn together by small conversations and long study sessions that slowly became something more. She was magnetic, sharp, lively, the kind of person who filled a room without trying. Loving her had felt natural, almost inevitable. Our engagement had followed that same quiet rhythm. Every step forward seemed right, until that message shattered the illusion of mutual certainty. I stared at my screen for a long time, not in anger but in disbelief. There was no fight to pick, no betrayal to expose, just the realization that she had doubts she hadn't trusted me enough to say aloud. I set the phone down, took a long breath, and let silence fill the space. In the days that followed, I tried to move normally, to pretend I hadn't seen it. I went to work, joined our mutual friend for dinner, smiled when needed. But every time her phone buzzed, my chest tightened. There were moments when I caught her smiling faintly at something on her screen, moments when her attention drifted during our conversations. Small things, maybe, but when seen together, they told a story I could no longer deny. I waited a few days before asking her to talk. When we finally sat across from each other, I didn't accuse her of anything. I just asked her to be honest. For a long moment, she was silent, searching for the right words. Then quietly, she said it. She wasn't sure she wanted to marry me. The words landed softly, but their weight was crushing. She wasn't cruel about it, just painfully sincere. And I realized I had already known. I'd felt it in her distance, seen it in her eyes. This conversation was only a confirmation of what my gut had been whispering all along. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I simply told her I understood. That love shouldn't have to be coaxed or convinced. That maybe the kindest thing we could do for each other was to stop pretending. She cried a little. I didn't. Not because it didn't hurt, but because the clarity had settled in long before that moment. I gathered a few of my things that night. Before leaving, I wrote a short note on the counter. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet acknowledgement that we had reached the end. Then I walked out, closing the door gently behind me. The following days felt both strange and calm. There were no angry texts, no desperate calls, just silence. And in that silence, I started to rediscover parts of myself that had been quietly fading. I took long walks through the city, revisited old hobbies, and spent time with friends I hadn't seen in months. For the first time in a long while, my world wasn't centered around her. It was centered around me. Weeks later, I saw her at a cafe, laughing with friends. For a second, I felt a flicker of something familiar, a brief warmth, a hint of nostalgia. But it passed as quickly as it came. I wasn't angry, and I didn't wish things had turned out differently. We had simply reached a point where continuing would have meant losing myself. I understood then that not every love story ends in betrayal or bitterness. Sometimes it ends with quiet understanding and the strength to let go with grace. Her uncertainty wasn't mine to fix. My responsibility was to honor my own peace, my own dignity. Some endings don't come with closure or final words. They come in a quiet decision to walk away, head held high, heart steady, knowing that leaving doesn't always mean losing. Sometimes it simply means beginning again,